Hi.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are you?
How
Beautiful.
are you?
Oh my gosh, it's almost like we're in the same room.
Oh my god, I was copying you.
Oh my gosh, it's like we have friends again.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Look at your fairy lights.
I tried to
Yes.
copy. I tried to copy the back of the chapel with the festoons.
I like it.
Oh,
I like it. It's
I'm into it.
beautiful. It's really
As you,
working for you.
as you can see, we really love fairy lights also.
Oh my god, it's
Oh my
gorgeous.
god. Oh, hello everybody.
Hello.
Hey Tessa. Hey Jen. Hey Andrew.
Hello guys. Happy isolation party.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us on. It's really awesome to be able to do this kind of stuff and keep live music stuff going on from
Oh
our
my
living rooms
God.
and bedrooms. So here we are.
Cozy.
So, it's such an honor having you guys.
Oh, stop it, you. Stop it.
I love it. So how are you guys coping? How are you guys coping in isolation?
I mean, it's been a big adjustment for everyone. I think. I mean, obviously the entertainment industry, the music industry, the arts has been affected. Probably one of the first industries to really feel it. As soon as gatherings were banned, all the gig stops. We had gigs cancelled up until about June.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of looking down the barrel of, well, you can either get down in the dumps about that or look at all the positives that I think are going to come out of it. There's a real sense of community, I think, of everyone banding together and wanting to do things like this. So yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we're just making do what we can and writing music and
Trying to be creative, playing
Yes.
words with friends, watching Tiger King.
yeah. I'm being also not very uncreative as well at the same time.
Well, it's hard to be creative when you're isolated. Don't you find
Yeah,
it?
totally. Well, I mean, musicians have a bit of an edge because this is what we're good at, is being inside.
We're locked away in the studio for days on end all the time. So it's like, I mean, it's challenging. I mean, how long have we been in ISO now? It's probably been like 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I reckon.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, it's getting to that time where, you know, everyone's daily routine has changed, but we've just been working on writing new stuff and using the experience the best we can. So trying to stay fit and not rip each other's heads off.
Yeah. How's that going? Like, I'm by myself, so I just talk to myself and have arguments with myself all day. Hey, stop it!
You know what? I
Stop
don't
it.
doubt that.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, it's good. We're together all the time, like literally 365 days a year anyway. So, but I've started to draw. So that's
I saw your drawings.
The
Jess has
only
been
time
drawing.
we've been apart, which has been
Yeah, and
weird.
then we've just been I've been sort of had headphones on most of the time and just working on producing the next album and doing a lot of that stuff. So it's good. I mean, it's strange that the isolation falls on a time where we're making a record. So it just means we can indulge in that. So
Yeah, it's perfect. It's always perfect timing because after we saw you in February, you were going to go straight into the studio to record.
And we did. We got in just before we went to our bass player's Elliot's place in Bury, and it was awesome. And it was just before this all went down, so we ended up getting 5 or 6 tracks done, and it was just amazing in this little cabin in the woods. And
it was pretty special.
Beautiful.
I mean, we're just so lucky that we could get that little run tour in as well. I mean, so many artists in all around the country and globally have had to cancel tours, and we've seen the impact of that. So we're just feeling lucky that we got to at least do a small run of our shows. We got to go to chapel, which was just amazing.
you.
It was such a beautiful
catch
night.
up.
Yes, exactly. It was awesome.
Yeah, so that's. I mean, we're just gonna be grateful for what we got to do before we had to go into lockdown, and we got to share a very special performance with you, which was lovely.
Special.
Which we just shared online.
Yes, you just shared it online, home at home. Tell me about this song. It's such a beautiful song.
Thank you.
We wrote this just like literally just before we went out on tour. We sort of had the set finalized, and we were working with our buddy Pat Byrne, who's amazing producer, singer-songwriter, and we just sort of just decided to write as we do. We didn't really have much of a thought process, and the tour set list was already done. And it just sort of came together. We were writing about that feeling of kind of feeling a little bit directionless and a little bit sort of lost in life and kind of isolated almost. Isolated.
Yeah. Oh.
Feeling more isolated.
Knew the pandemic was coming.
No, exactly. Home ain't a home. You have to stay there all day long.
Home ain't a home, and you're staying there forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Your home's you.
Home's a home. Don't stay at home. Don't ever go home ever again.
That's what you should have released.
Then we just wrote about. I mean, it's about us coming together, and you know, we both came through. Had some, you know, rocky relationships in the past, so it's just talking about that, someone that you can confide in, and just then home is wherever Jess is now.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, so it's nice to be able to share that moment from Chapel as well. I mean, that night was just incredible, and that venue's honestly our favorite venue in Australia. Yeah. So thank you so much for being so amazing and looking after us and everything. Beautiful.
Oh my God, it was such a lovely time last time, and your first time last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was amazing. Like, you know, your first Melbourne tour as well.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. That was our first show in Melbourne, and I've been
our first show really ever, wasn't it?
That was one of our first, I think, headline shows. Was the one in Melbourne last year. And
then you popped out to a cherry.
Yes, I loved it. I'm so honoured.
I love it. I love it. This is cool. I like it. Well, I got my guitar here, and we were going to do. You wanted to hear a little bit of a song, so
yes,
we dive into it. As soon as we're talking about it, let's do it. We've got the little live version we did up on our socials now, but here's me with the guitar and ISO. Here we go. Hopefully you can hear it all the way in Melbourne.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
I never knew that I could find somebody. This town was weighing heavy on my shoulders. The darkness grew when you took my hand, my dear. When you said honestly, we can walk right out of here. So when I was breaking, my heart couldn't take it. You filled these empty rooms and let the sun come through as I faded into you. Now this home ain't a home without you. Stay home, stay home. Oh, I'll never do a love you make me better. But you show me how to put my pride aside without me knowing. The darkness when you took my hand, my dear. When you said honestly, we can walk right out of here. Just when I was breaking and my heart couldn't take it, you fill these empty rooms and let the sun come through as I faded into you. Now it's home and a home without you. Without you did it on these roads in a different shade of blue as I faded into you. Now it's home and a home without you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
You hit me in the head.
Oh no, okay.
Sorry, it's really awkward when you perform. You don't have any. It's no sound, so I just have my own applause.
Doing.
Thanks, Evie.
I love it.
he was working on that for so long.
I was working for 5 seconds and then I headbutted Jess.
Oh my
Apologies.
God.
I tried to find some chimes because last time I was with it was a bit of time between the artists coming on and I was interviewing. So I wanted to put the chimes on. But you guys came on straight away. It was amazing. Thank God.
Oh my God.
I love it.
So
We love it.
I love it.
We love timely. So I want to know more about you guys. So
Tell me.
Let's go. Especially your song title, not about you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to go back to 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Take me back.
So you guys were both solo performers at that time?
Yes.
We were. Yeah, I mean, we met studying music together at JMC Academy in Sydney, and we both almost didn't end up going. So it's very lucky that we went. I mean, we came out of high school not knowing what we wanted to do as musos, and you know, we knew we liked music. Where do you go? And then we ended up at JMC. Jess was in the year below me, and I was the older man. And then sort of we kicked things off. But we definitely had completely different styles. You know, Jess was like getting played in Triple J and had her. It was more indie folk, and my stuff was kind of more blues. And so it didn't make sense just to mend it together and mold it together at first. And but then a few years later, we decided to save on petrol and book ourselves at the same gigs. And
amazing.
It kind of just started working. We started learning things from each other, and it just kind of felt nice to be able to songwrite as well from two different perspectives. So then somewhere along the line, we happened to really like each other, and then we got married, and here we are.
That's been very fast.
Thank you.
So who made the first move?
Oh, definitely me. 100%. Yeah, he had a girlfriend.
Scandal. Yeah,
Naughty.
When I did first meet Jess, I was in a relationship for 4 years. I was in a long-term relationship, so we didn't start dating for a while. Yeah. But we knew of each other, and you know there was obviously sparks fly around.
I definitely knew about him.
So there was a bit of Facebook stalking involved, and all those things that happen when you're starting out a relationship. But quickly, about a year down the line, we started dating, and then we haven't. I don't think we spent about 2 weeks apart in the 10 years since then.
True.
Amazing.
Yeah, which is psychotic, really. But
so what was the first song?
You like me?
Oh, isn't that beautiful? So what's the first song you wrote together?
Oh, I've never been asked that question.
First song we wrote together. My gosh, we wrote some really weird, self-indulgent indie stuff for a while. We did a couple. I think the first thing we did together was a cover. We did a cover of David Gray.
Elusive.
I love David Gray.
It wasn't David Gray. That's not David Gray.
Scott Matthews. Scott Matthews is a UK artist.
I'm glad he knows the first song that we ever did together.
Sorry. And it was called Elusive, and we worked on it. It was actually supposed to be for a uni thing, but that was the first time we were kind of singing together. And then I can't remember what the first song was, but I can't. Yeah, we have to go back and find out what it was. I think I need to. If I look on my laptop, I could probably find it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll track it down for you. We've never been asked that question before.
You're a good interviewer.
You're a good interviewer. We're a terrible guest.
I
don't even know the answer to your questions, and they're about us. This is going to go great. Hey Ty, how you doing? Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Hello Ty, how you doing?
Hello Ty.
I think I saw Beck was there before. Hey Beck.
Jessica Dobson.
We got a lovely crowd in here. And guys, if you got any questions, chuck them in, or we can answer them during the night.
Okay.
I have another question.
Make sure we read. We're going to read all these things.
Ask us any questions if you want.
Yes.
Exactly. Hey, who was the first person to say, let's go on X Factor?
We were really back and forth with wanting to go on and then not thinking that it was right. And then we switched back and forth a lot. And then on the day, I remember the night before, we were like, no, we're going to do it. Then the morning of, we were like, nah, can't do it. And then Matt's dad convinced us. He was like, just go. You don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, go to the thing.
I think my dad was the final one. He's like, just go. I mean, the thing with all the singing shows, we were out and we were gigging, and we had a career that was forming. I mean, and you hear about, you know, there's a bit of stigma around all those singing shows, and we didn't want to be seen taking a shortcut because we've been gigging for so many years, and we just kind of, I don't know, there's all this back and forth stuff, and then there's also all the doubts of we're not really the type of artist that performs well on those shows. You know, we're singer-songwriters, and you don't have the chance to.
You don't have the big Mariah Carey.
The Mariah Carey voices, you know, Celine Dion moments, which translate really well in 30 seconds on TV. But we sort of, you know, we need a couple of minutes to sing a verse and a chorus and tell a story. We're storytellers, but I mean, obviously we're glad.
You did very well. You came third.
So I mean, it was.
When we actually got the form and it was like, what's your group name? We were like, oh, I don't know, like maybe Matt and Jess, and we were Matt and Jess for ages, and then it's
changed to Jess and Matt because ladies first. It was a shambles when we turned up for the audition. They're like, so what's your group name? And we're like, we're not a group. We're solo. Oh, I guess we
are a group.
We're a band now.
We're high too.
Hey. So just wrote down our first names and it's just stuck. But
NM.
I mean, obviously. I mean, I don't think I could have ever done anything like that. Like live TV by myself. It would have been crazy. Really? So we're very lucky we could do it together, and we learned a lot about each other being on live TV for like 3 months straight. So
what was the hardest track to sing? What was one song you thought, I hate this song? I don't want to sing it.
We had a few curveballs. Definitely.
It was Rock Week, and we sung a temper trap song. And and we had like the live drums next to it, and it just sounded so shit.
We had a live. It was the first time they had a live band, and I remember we're standing on opposite sides of the stage. So usually when we're singing together, we can hear each other just by standing close, so we can harmonize and stuff. We were standing on either side of the drums, and the drums were so loud that you couldn't hear the starting chord at the top of because you've got a thing in your ear that gives you the key before you start singing. And we're listening for it, didn't hear it, and the drums were there, and you can't hear anything.
And this is what it sounded like. 1, 2, 3. Sweet
and then it's kind of, you have that moment where then you walk in front of the drum kit, because we walk past the drum kit, and as you walk past the drum kit, all of a sudden the sound of the drum kit gets softer, and you can hear, and we're kind of singing in slightly different keys.
Oh my God.
And we're going, and then we brought it back around, and it was really, we had a lot of fun, but we just kind of knew.
I didn't have fun on that.
We can never watch that track. We can never watch that performance back.
And then it was on iTunes that night, which was just my ego.
That was just one of those ones, you know, it's going to live TV, and you're just like, sweet. And people are brutal online, so we just didn't even tune into that. But apparently we didn't cop it too badly for that, but it was probably.
We got in the bottom too, what do you mean?
Oh, no, wait. We almost got kicked off. Sorry,
it's sweet. It's sweet in the bottom.
It's part of my therapy is just telling myself the opposite of what happened so that I can recover.
Oh my
That's
God.
why everyone hated it, and we were in the bottom 2.
Yeah.
And then we were in the bottom 2 the next week as well, I think.
Yeah.
But then eventually we didn't.
Then you gotta like rise up.
Guys, that.
And then
there's only up from rock bottom.
But you know,
only ways up.
Shows. They're interesting. They're an interesting mix of thing. I would never ever. I don't think I could ever put someone through that. It was very stressful.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't recommend it?
I mean,
it's
they're constantly changing too. I mean, they're all different formats.
Yeah.
I think we went in we were pretty sure of who we were as artists going in, and we didn't want anyone to change that. And I think with producers and stuff, they're sort of telling you to do one thing, and we were just switched on enough to be like, well, that's just not really us. And at the end of the day, this isn't the be all and end all for us. It'd be really great to get through each week and connecting with people.
It was good to have Guy as our mentor, because he really got who we were, and he was super good with us with you know, letting us do our own arrangements of songs and fully trusting us. Whereas I think some of the other contestants didn't have so much freedom with the arrangements of the songs.
I mean, that's the kind of thing when you're dealing with different judges. I mean, it's at the end of the day, some judges that you see on the shows, they're just there for, you know, it's a payday for them. And Guy, we were really lucky with Guy. He's like, I know who you are as artists.
And Chris.
And he's been through it. And Chris Isaak, obviously, was amazing on our series as well. Meeting him. They were both like, didn't want to push us into being anything that we weren't. So even when we would get given a song that really didn't suit us, we would sort of just take it back. We'd strip it completely back, just get the lyrics printed out on the laptop and just look at it and go, well, let's just see what this song means to us, and come back approaching it just with an acoustic guitar and start from there. But the problem with that is the show moves so quickly. So the show finishes filming at about 9:30, and by the next morning you have to have your arrangement fully in and confirmed by like 8 a.m. and then you start rehearsal. So we would finish filming. We'd finish filming at like 9:30. We wouldn't be back until like 11 p.m. back in the hotel, and we're like, pull the iPhone out and we'd look at the song that we've been confirmed, and we'd just be tearing it down as quickly as we could. And I mean, it was a lot.
It's like next song.
Yeah. It was a good pressure cooker though, to make us, you know, better at working together as well. Because there's no time to argue. There's no time to, you know, delay on anything. So it's like, all right, let's do that. You're right. Let's do it.
Yeah, we learned how to communicate very well. Hello, Ty. Will you guys ever tour back in Wagga? We hope to be back in Wagga, yes. We loved Wagga, and we loved that show. That was another little show we did on the tour. In Wagga. Yeah. The town's so nice, they named it twice.
I love it. So, there's another question. How many new originals will be on your new album?
Yes. We're thinking about 10 or 11.
There's currently, to go to the process of, we've been working on this album for like sort of the last 2 years on and off, going backwards and forwards to Nashville, and you write heaps of songs, but you kind of want to write, we aim to sort of write like 40 songs that we'd be happy with, and then it's picking the 10. I mean, it's our debut original album, so it's really special for us.
Want to get it right.
The one that sort of, you know, you want to speak your truth and define who we are and really put our foot down with our sound. So we've got 10 or 11 originals at the moment with the album.
I think that's a good number. I mean, a lot of artists now are doing like 16 songs for an album.
Then you've got the opposite side of the spectrum where people are saying they'll never release albums again as well. So it's weird.
Yes.
I mean, for us, it's a body of work. We always want to like have a journey with an album. That's how we grew up with music.
That's how I grew up as well.
You know what it's like. You know, playing your Madonna records. You start from the beginning. You listen the whole way through. It's a journey. And we want to create that for ourselves. Reading the lyrics from the sheet. We want to give that experience, even though it's not the norm of doing a full-length album. That's always been our dream. So we're going to do that regardless.
So, yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait. So when do you think you'll think about releasing it? I mean, who knows? But, you know, is it this year? Or?
Well, we were well and truly on our way, you know, with our producer, but not being able to see him. We've just kind of been working on the songs that we've already done. So working on those 6 songs at home as much as we can. But I suppose we just have to wait until we can meet up with him again and then start the other ones. And he's incredible. Pat Byrne.
Yeah, Pat Byrne. I've been loving working with him.
We're co-producing with him. So
it's been great to just be able to just sort of dive in with someone who's on the same wavelength with us. We always wanted to co-produce the album that we do, so we've just had the time to do it. We've got about half of the album music is done so far, but we haven't dived into all the vocal stuff yet. That's always such a weird thing. You never know when you're going to get the perfect vocal. So
and all the studios shut down too, so that wasn't great.
I mean, it's a crazy time at the moment. It's like we had a tour planned for the back end of the year, and to do a more extensive go around to Perth, Adelaide, and finally make our way around the whole of Australia, do the second leg. But it's kind of, everything's on hold at the moment. It's really hard to lock in dates at the moment, and a lot of artists are finding that, you know, it's hard to plan so far ahead when it's unsure of how long the situation's going to go for. But we'll just keep trucking along.
Well, we got a beautiful taster earlier in the year with Know About You. So that was amazing.
You've heard a lot. You've heard a lot of the heard a lot of the originals, haven't you?
And we released another original on our chapel sessions. 1961.
Yes.
Yeah, we love that.
Will that be on the album?
That's really special.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Home and Home, 1961, a bunch of ones you've heard before as well.
It was really nice to share that live at chapel as well. That was really special.
listen to it, everyone. It's on our YouTube channel. So it's
Yes.
a divine song. It's so beautiful.
Aw.
That was really special. I mean, we were sharing a lot of songs for the first time in front of an audience, and that one's obviously very, very close to home. And Jess managed to not fall into tears.
Well, I knew we were filming it, so I was like, it's going to be so weird if I'm just crying in the middle of it. And it's going to be so out of context. Like, I'm like, just keep it together. Keep it together.
Yeah, so I mean, we're really excited to share that one with people too. So 1961, jump on the YouTube, have a little listen.
The YouTube.
We can't wait for what's more to come. Like Sliding Doors.
Yeah.
Sliding Doors is on the album as well.
On there. Yep.
Amazing.
We've just been diving into the production of that as well, which is really nice. I mean, to be able to get in the studio and recreate these the way we wanted for them to sound on the record has been really special. So we're really excited to share them. Some of them are slightly reimagined as well. Like we've come at it from a slightly different approach. The album's going to be a bit of a journey sonically, so we're really excited.
What's inspiring you in the album? Like, what influences have you got?
I mean, musically, it was the place that we were in, like this little cabin in the woods, that had a huge influence on the sound. Yeah. Because we were
off the grid,
totally off the grid. It was like pouring with rain every day. And so we really had like almost this like Bon Iver kind of vibe.
Nice.
So it's like really
Bon Iver was definitely a big influence in the production sort of sounds we were pulling up and referencing and things like that. I mean, we're inspired by a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
who else inspires you right now?
I mean, always Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, Stevie.
Forever.
She's your biggest fan as well, guys.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Then there's Casey Musgraves. We've been loving that Golden Hour record. Has been a big influence on us. I mean, we've been spending a lot of time in Nashville, and our sound is sort of always leaned into the country world. We're definitely not country artists, but that album, I think, sort of solidified that country music and pop music and singer-songwriter, it's all just blurred now, and it's just a good song is what shines through. Yeah. So I think there was always this pressure, I think, even a few years ago, that artists had to fit into, a little pocket of who are you as an artist. And for us, we're influenced by so many different artists that it's nice that we can just focus on what feels right now. Yeah. So and I mean, Casey Musgraves winning Grammy Album of the Year was a real big moment. Yeah. I think. Country music.
Exactly. How was Nashville? Like, was that your first time, or how many times have you been there?
Oh, we've been a bunch of times, probably 5 or 6 times now. And it's been awesome. We've come away with probably 10 songs each trip, which has been amazing. And the writers over there have been just so good at unlocking something really unique for us. Because you're working with Phil Barton, this guy.
We've got there's so many Australians in Nashville. That's one thing. It's like you go there and it kind of is like a second Australia to a certain extent.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it just I mean, you always hear about Nashville and these places, and you don't need to go to Nashville to write great songs or make great music. But for us, it was just kind of there's so much Elvis and all these legends. We wanted to just be surrounded by that energy, and we just clicked with us, the whole place over there. Yeah. And we were just really lucky that we could get in the room with some of our idols. I mean, going over there and having Chris Isaak introduce you to people.
Amazing.
And writing with him, and just the whole process for us was just sort of a bit of a dream. It was and we started working with the guy that produced the A Star Is Born album, Dave Cobb. He did all the Gaga stuff, and we're just we didn't know when we went in, and because we were doing a session with Chris for his Christmas album, recording his Christmas album, and we're in there singing BVs and a couple of songs, and he's got these Grammys all over his desk, and we're like, "What's that for?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's Chris Stapleton. I did his albums." And then he's like, the next session he had in a few months later was the Lady Gaga Bradley Cooper session where they recorded "Shallow," and we were like, it's like those moments we felt way out of our depth, but I mean, it was amazing.
Mm.
Oh, I can see Damage Music, another duo in here.
Dogs Love Christmas too, yeah.
Dogs Love Christmas too.
Fun fact, in Dogs Love Christmas too, that's actually me being the dog. I walk and I say, yes, Mr. Isaac. I'm the dog. I'm the dog.
That was so hilarious. I mean, Chris had this idea to do a dog Christmas song, and he's like, I know this is absolutely nuts, but I didn't give a shit. I just want to do a dog song. With it. And they just said to Jess, they're like, they were going to get someone in to do the little ditzy, like, it was like a throwback 60s feel kind of track. And they're like, Jess like, I'll just do it. What do I got to say? So then she's just like being a Disney character on that song.
I sound more like Mickey Mouse than a dog, to be honest.
It's like a kid's Christmas song. It was a lot of fun. I mean, that whole process was ridiculous. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
I really want to go there one day. What's the vision? Like, is it if I close my eyes, how do I picture it? Nashville.
Oh.
I mean, at the end, like on face value, it's a massive city. It's a big city. There's a lot, and music isn't even the number one moneymaker in Nashville. It's not. It's healthcare. They're like big in healthcare, which is really weird. But then if you're talking about going down the main strip of Nashville, it's like nothing else you've ever seen. You'll be there at Tuesday at 10 a.m. in the morning, and there'll be 10 bands playing, and you could hear them on every corner. They're playing, and it's pretty much 24 hours a day. There's just live music, bands playing.
Yeah.
And
insane.
I mean, we saw some incredible musicianship going around to these. We were seeing like some of John Mayer's house band players, and they're just all getting up and playing at jams and stuff.
Every Uber driver is cutting a record. They're like, yeah, listen to my demo, and it's like the best thing you've ever heard.
So inspiring.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You have to get there. You'd love it.
Yeah.
It's party city as well.
Well, I crashed your honeymoon.
Oh my God. Yeah. For all you people watching. So this is how Ivy and us met. We were in a Mexican club on Mexican Independence Day in Bali. And he came up to me, him and his best friend, Tessa, his cousin. Yeah. He's blowing a bottle going, do, 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 on the dance floor. And I just was immediately drawn to them. And then I got my bottle and I was going, do, do, to these, we were strangers on the dance floor.
That was the weirdest twist of fate that we're in the same bar at the same time. I think you just had Dami in.
Yes.
And you're saying you just had Dami in, and we really want to get you guys, and we've been back every year since.
Mind you, this conversation was going on while like the music was blaring and we're shouting like, do you want to be in Chapel of Chapel? And we're like, let's do it. We're like,
that's such a lucky.
You want to play? We're just putting it in our calendar. Sweet.
Yeah.
Literally. And then we were there for like another 2 weeks probably, and we were inseparable, right?
Yeah, into a lot of mischief.
We did get into some mischief.
Oh my God.
And Bali Belly was caught all around, but we still had fun.
Matt being severely dehydrated.
Oh God.
I think me and you were the only ones that survived, Jess.
Yeah, we were. Heather and Matt, literally, I thought Matt was going to die. I'm like, I've been married for like 2 weeks.
I saw my life flash before my eyes the time we met.
Yeah.
Never forget.
This is literally, Matt had severe dehydration, and he and Tessa both had this, and he literally looked like
they couldn't move.
Like a mummy.
That's what happens when you get
a mummy.
When you get severe dehydration. I never knew this. When you've completely got no fluids left in you, your muscles just seize up, and you just go into like a corpse, and you can't move. And Jess was looking at me thinking I was dying. Picks up the phone and calls the doctor, who charges. We would have paid anything. We're just like, come to the hotel room. I couldn't get out of bed.
And then the next morning we had to fly back to Sydney and then straight to LA. And it was like, I'm like, is Matt going to literally shit his pants on the flight? How are we going to get through
They're like, you're going to have to cancel the flight. And I'm like, no, not canceling the flight. It's going to be a nightmare. We were meeting in LA. We had stuff on. And I'm like,
so bad.
I'm like, we're going to fly. And the flight path was literally from Bali back to Sydney, And the airport is about 12 minutes from our door when we lived in Rosebery, right in Sydney.
Oh my God.
And then had to just hop back on a tin can for like 14 hours and sat there. And then by the time I got to LA, my Bali belly was pretty much gone after the worst flight of my entire life.
28 hours of traveling, not knowing whether he was going to...
We are drama queens. We're being dramatic, but it was pretty terrible.
It was terrible.
You don't want to have Bali belly on a flight when you can't get off the flight.
Another interesting thing that you guys ended up on was on TV in America.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You're very well read. You're very well studied.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, we wrote this song, Sydney to Me, about our hometown, and we got a call from the Bold and the Beautiful to be on there. Like, there was like two of the main characters. It was their season finale, and
it's really weird.
They were getting married, and it was like a big scene, and they came to Sydney.
Speaking of planes, yeah, the producer was flying into Sydney to shoot this wedding scene, and it happened to be that our song was playing on the in-flight things when you come into Sydney, because it was the tourism theme song for Sydney.
Yeah.
So he was landing, and he's like, "You're like Sydney to me," and he's like, "We've got to have that song on this." It's obviously it's very
so good.
predictable. It's like, we're in Sydney, let's have a song that has Sydney in the title. And they just found a way of tracking us down, and like literally a few days later, we're on Shelley Beach in Manly, filming for The Bold and the Beautiful, and it was like they're all Botoxed up, and that series has been going for like 200 years or something.
Yes, exactly.
And we didn't know anything about the series. And Jess made a great.
Oh my God.
She goes up to the main director of Bold and the Beautiful, who's been directing it for like
wasn't even the worst
20 years. Oh, that And when Jess gets nervous, she just keeps speaking.
I just say stupid things.
So she went up and she goes,
No, wait.
I'll do the first one.
The girl comes up to me and she's like, "Oh my God," because we had to play the song live for them while they're all like sitting on the beach with like baby oil on them. They're just like, "Oh, beautiful." And she comes up. It's like one of the main ones, maybe Brooke or someone. And she comes up and she's like, "Oh my God, you guys were so good. We really, really enjoyed that." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And I'm like, "You're so beautiful and bold."
No word of a lie. That's what she said.
I just freaked out. I was like, "What am I saying?"
She kind of stopped speaking for a little while, and our manager was with us, and our manager's just trying to pull Jess away, like, finish the conversation.
Shut up.
And she just thought it was hilarious. She laughed at her, and we were just like, "I can't believe you just said that." And she's like, "Yeah, sorry."
Oh my God, I was so bad. And then as we were walking away, as if it couldn't get any worse. I mean, the filming and everything was fine. It was great. But as I was walking, the director was like, "Thanks, guys. Thanks for having, loved it, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Thank you. I'm so excited to tell my grandma."
She goes,
"I'm so excited.
My grandma loves this show."
My grandma loves this show.
The worst thing you can say. Obviously, they have a little bit of a stereotype of being a grandma, old person.
Yeah.
And he's like, instead of going, I love this show, thanks for being on it, because my grandma loves this show.
And they've spent probably 10 years rebranding into like this young show.
But that was so weird. So the Bold and the Beautiful, we get this call. We don't watch the show. We know it's really popular. Jess's grandma loves the show. So we quickly learned a little bit about the characters. She told us where they were up to. And they film really quickly. They film episodes like all the time. There's like 25 million seasons.
Yeah.
And we just thought that at the wedding, we were going to be the music in the background of the wedding, like a band, like miming, and there'd be a song on, and they'd be doing the scene. And sometimes they need, musos to come in and just like pretend and mime. And that's all we knew until we turned up, and we realized that we were friends. Apparently, we had lines.
Oh, what?
They just got fed to us before we pushed record, because they just completely wing it, right? So I've never seen like people act. And shows like this where they're filming so many episodes, they'll be like, Brooke shouldn't be drinking though because she's an alcoholic. So just say this instead and go and film. And they just wing it. They just change the script. And then they get us on thinking we're actors, and they're like, all right, so just come on and they're just going to be like, "Hey, so where have you guys been?" And we're like, "Oh, you've just been in the studio. Like, just doing muso stuff, like playing my guitar.
Oh my God.
And then they go, and now Australia's Jess and Matt, they're gonna play us a song.
Australia's very own Jess and Matt, and then they're all just like
they sit in front of us,
and then for 3 minutes 30 seconds they're just
quiet, and we played a song, and it was live. We didn't even know if we were supposed to pre-record.
Oh my God.
We had some audio that like they were gonna originally use just the acoustic version. It was just gonna be laid over because there's wind and it's on Shelley Beach.
It was on the beach, yeah.
And they're like, go.
Yeah.
And we sang Bones, and we did a little bit of Sydney to Me after it, and then it's all just stripped together. It's like 3 minutes of the episode is just us singing.
And it was so awkward. There's just like shots of them like just smiling and us being like,
Someone saying, is there
beautiful Botox lips?
Someone saying, is there a clip online? I believe there is a clip online. Someone tracked it down.
You know what? I've been trying to find it. It's quite hard to find.
I think there's a behind the scenes video on our Instagram. If you scroll down a bit in videos, it's posted on our Instagram, and it was behind the scenes. It was a while ago. This is like a couple of years ago.
Oh.
So if you go back, but it was the weirdest experience of our lives. And
beautiful.
So great.
we got told that I think there's like 70 million people watch that show.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's like 2 million people watch the State of Origin.
I think
So it was the weirdest thing.
if you look up maybe Bold and the Beautiful, Shelley Beach, Sydney, Australia, it might come up.
I know that it's hard to find the actual episodes because it's protected by US things and you can't get it. The behind the scenes thing you can go and see. I think there's clips of it in there. So if you type in behind the scenes, you'll find
iconic.
It. But it was very weird. And that was our acting debut.
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing. Any other acting?
Then we got an Oscar.
And then we got an Oscar for our acting.
Amazing.
Next season.
I can't remember what we said as our line. It's like, oh, where have you guys been?
I was like, beautiful and bold.
We've just been in the studio, like working on some songs.
We just wrote this song actually. Really?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. But that was our acting debut, and we did a little. You asked if we've done any more acting. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
We did one other thing. We were on Love Child.
Love Child, yeah.
Do you remember that series?
Yeah.
But that was more of a backgroundy thing.
Beautiful and bold.
I remember now. So Love Child, we were dressed up in a wig. You could find this photo as well.
Oh my God.
We had to wear wigs and be from the 70s.
Matt had to shave. He wasn't very happy about that.
They made me shave. So we were shooting with Ronan Keating, and we're in the trailer, and we both have stubble, and I look like a 4-year-old when I shave. And they got in there, and he's arguing over to keep his stubble, and they just got the razor and said nah and shaved it. So I knew I didn't stand a chance. I'm like, I'm about to go, sorry, I'm the extra. Can I mean, we'd met Ronan before, but he was getting married. He proposes in the series to Jessica.
We're like the wedding singers on
Jessica,
TV, aren't we?
We're wedding singers again.
We're Adam Sandler.
But we shot it in King's Cross, and it's all a timepiece, so it's all like everyone's dressed up.
Brown hair.
There was like 50 people in the scene, and we're buskers, and he's paid us. The story is that he's paid us to sing the song that was playing when they first met.
The Dusty Springfield.
And we do Dusty Springfield, I Only Want to Be With You. And he's proposing, and he goes, he like turns around and goes this, and then we just stand there for a few seconds, and
we didn't have a line.
I only wanna be with you. And then they propose, and then Jessica Murray,
she says no.
She says no, and she bawls her eyes out, and we stand there going, whoopsie.
Awkward.
Orkies. So
Yeah.
it was that was really weird, and that that TV stuff, we never thought of ourselves doing that, but they were just hilarious moments. So lots of fun.
TV land.
So
I'll repost the photo of us with the wigs on after.
Please do it. Put it.
Yeah,
I will share it too. Tell me about my other favourite song of yours is Bones.
Yes.
Was that first single?
Yeah, that was our first ever single with Sony.
No, it wasn't. It was our second single with Sony.
Second.
Yeah, so straight off the show we had Nothing Matters, and then we went into Bones, and I think we wanted to make a bit of a departure from doing the really shiny pop thing, and we just wanted to do something really fun. And a lot of the music we were listening to at the time was kind of a bit quirky and stuff, and that song was just a lot of fun to make.
Yeah,
it came out it was all happened really quickly as well. I mean, we wrote the song and we're like, this is kind of cool, and they're like, let's get this out like soon. And we're like, okay, cool. So then we just finished the song and it came out. It was a lot of fun. And then we did the acoustic version. I think the acoustic version
some people have found it. They found it. They found the episode. Oh,
wow.
Goodness. Tag us. I would love to see it. I would love to be embarrassed again.
Tag us in the clip. We've struggled to find the Bold and the Beautiful clip, so tag us away. Yes.
We've got an army of researchers. I love you guys.
So
well
good.
done. I love it. I love it.
Oh, God. I mustn't be very technologically advanced. You guys found it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, beautiful. But yeah, Bones was a love song, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, that's the fun. We still love playing that song, and we did it. To do it on tour, and we did it a little bit differently on tour as well, which is cool.
It was very. I love revisiting it in the sessions video. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's out now too, guys. So
yes.
Watch that too.
The live version.
It's on Chapel of Chapel's YouTube. Go check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out, chickies.
So
Yes.
I want to play a game with you guys.
Oh my God, yes. I'm up. I'm up.
Let's do it.
It's the Fantails.
I want to eat them.
Stop it. Give me one.
There is a prize. Who gets the most correct answers?
Oh yes, I'm gonna win.
Okay, this is like a game show. I'm in.
Hey, it's a game. So everyone out there, you can join in and answer.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. I'm in.
And then we'll read your answers.
Who am I? I was born, so I can't really see. I was born in 1968. I began my career as an actress in Melbourne, a child actress. A child actress in Melbourne.
Kylie Minogue.
Yes.
Serious? Yes.
Not one, just none.
I win. I knew it.
The prize is amazing, guys. You wait till you see it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, that's one for me.
Damn it.
What movie am I? Based on the 7 fantasy novels by British writer J.K.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Yes.
Lord of the Rings. Oh,
Harry
no.
Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
I was thinking Lord of the Rings.
You're a wizard, Harry. What? I'm a what? A wizard.
Jess has lost it. She's been isolated for too
I
long.
want to win. I'm a what?
I'm a what?
You've been fat hobbits.
Okay.
That's not Harry Potter. That's way
Ready for the next question?
Yes,
I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay. Born in California in 1987. His parents first noticed his acting and singing talent when he was only 11 years old.
Justin Bieber?
Little close. He signed up to an agency, and in 2002 he appeared in guest roles in television series including ER, and also starred in Disney's High School.
Zac Efron!
Yes!
No, that was a tie. That was a tie. That was a tie.
That was a tie. Tie.
Be nice to your wife.
Yeah. Tie.
I'm going to let her have it.
No, it's a tie.
I think I was probably a little bit earlier. But,
oh, the sash.
I was actually thinking it was Justin Timberlake for some reason.
Yeah, I was going to.
Really?
I thought you were about to say NSYNC.
I thought you were going to do the Mickey Mouse Club. You say the Mickey Mouse Club.
This guy is very topical at the moment. Anyway.
Okay.
Born in California in 1956, he starred in films. God, this is so easy. Fantails, you suck.
Call up, put in a complaint to Fantails.
Exactly. Hello. Born in California in 1956, he has starred in films Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Mel Gibson.
No.
Damn it.
Oh, what's Saving Private Ryan?
The Da Vinci Code.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I can't think who it is.
Oh, wait.
Philadelphia.
Tom Hanks.
Yes. Chicken dinner.
Oh, no. Oh, no. If you'd said has Corona, I would have gone Tom Hanks.
He was in the Corona. He was in the Corona movie.
Yes. Saving Private Ryan. His name is Ryan.
I'm so,
Ryan, Privates.
I'm so used to we've been playing a lot of Pictionary and Articulate. So this speed stuff is what we've been doing a lot of.
Oh, it looks like someone else has found a YouTube clip of the. Oh, is that
Yes.
Damage? It looks like they found the YouTube clip of the
Do you
other
wanna-
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want
That's
to see your
hilarious.
prize?
What's my prize?
Ready? It's coming. It's Easter. Ready?
Yes.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god. It's
You win.
What's
shooting out of there. I get the cookie tuck.
Congratulations.
I get the cookie tuck.
Congratulations, Jess.
Thank you.
You won fair and square.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my
It's
god.
love a duck.
It's so cute.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. So thoughtful.
I couldn't find Easter Bunny because Easter Bunny doesn't lay eggs, so I've got a duck instead.
Victory is mine.
Well done, Jess.
Thank you.
I hope everyone enjoys our prelude applause. As well. All right, that's enough.
I love it. I was wondering if you guys are going to play us another song.
Yes,
It'd be
we
amazing.
Oh,
can.
yes. Yes, we
Please.
can.
Would you like to? Oh yeah, swap. We're gonna do a Fleetwood Mac song.
Oh,
I mean, you spoke
Wild.
about Stevie before, so
Yes.
let's do a little Stevie song. It seems fitting at the moment. A little
she's your
bit of an
biggest
emo.
fan, so you got to give us some props.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone who's been tuning in and messaging
Yeah,
stuff.
thank you so much. It's been
We've been
awesome.
reading all the comments, and we'll post those.
This is
silly-
wild.
There's a lot going on. This is what isolation does to
This
you.
is like, this is what you get for. If you just a man. If you just a man.
Ha!
Miss you, Dave.
We'll eat you duck.
Well,
No, I'm joking. That wasn't the song.
well, we're gonna play a
When
little
did
bit
Stevie
of,
write that song?
Stevie Nicks. We're gonna play some Stevie Nicks
Oh my
because we had a
God.
couple of requests to play this one.
He almost hit me again in the head.
But we need to have the guitar.
Where do I sit? Do I sing like this? Do I just sing like this?
It's for security.
Security. Oh my god.
Go bring back the Jess and Matt show. Show and tell song. Oh, the show and tell song from X Factor.
Jess and Matt.
Jess
Jess and Matt.
Show and tell. That is an OG fan right there.
Oh my
Thank you.
God.
Thank you, Beck.
Beck, you are amazing.
We had some silly moments.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
All right, we're going to play a little bit of Landslide. It seems fitting at the moment with all the craziness that's going on.
Now I have to be serious again. All right.
Yes.
Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
We're going to try and be a little serious.
We'll chat after the song too. Don't
Yeah.
leave.
Here we go.
Start again.
Jess bumped me.
Take two.
Take 37.
This is the magic of live music. Here we go. This one's called Landslide. Here we go.
Take 20.
That's why.
I took my love and took it down. I climbed the mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills where the landslide rolled down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tide? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Ooh. afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, children get older, and I'm getting older too. So take this love and take it down. If you climb a mountain and you turn around, and if you see my reflection, snow-covered hill, will the landslide bring you down? And if you see my reflection, snow-covered hills, well, maybe oh, landslide will bring you down. Oh, landslide will bring you down. Well, the landslide will bring you down.
Big crowd tonight. Big crowd.
Oh my God.
Sorry, we had to bring our own applause because otherwise it's really awkward. we love that song. We should do a proper little cover of that. We haven't really done anything like that online before. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the lovely comments.
Oh my God.
Bit of Stevie Nicks. We've been consoling in a lot of those Stevie songs lately, so
for sure.
it's a bit of landslide for you guys.
Oh, it's perfection, Brooke, isn't it? Yes.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
We're gonna play me like all night.
I love it.
Yeah, but thank you so much, guys. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's been sending messages, who've been reading as well. So thank you.
Tell me, who are you obsessed with on Netflix?
Oh my God.
Tiger King?
The Tiger King was a wild ride. And there's a new series of it coming out now. There's new episodes.
New episodes?
Yeah, and they've reopened Carol Baskin's murder case.
Have you watched it yet?
Yes, as you recommended to me. I watched it at this house a whole day from.
Did you?
11
What do
till
you
7.
think she did it? Do you
She
reckon
killed
she
me for
did
sure.
it? For sure.
Carol freaking Baskin, man.
Into the tiger pen. Boing.
She's the real criminal.
Boing.
See ya.
She kind of gives herself up while you're watching the Tiger King, and when the tiger bit his foot, Joe Exotic's foot, she's talking about like Joe's trying to say that his employees put perfume on to try and do it, but if they really wanted to hurt him, they would have put sardine oil on, because that's what the tigers would go crazy for, and they would eat him. I mean, what? I didn't do that.
Hey, all you little cats and kittens. I killed my husband.
It's Carol Baskin here. I'm going to do a little round around my kitty cat lake. Meow, meow, kitty cat. She's a sicko. She needs to be arrested just for that terrible introduction she does.
Oh my God, there's a new episode out today.
Is there actually a new episode out?
Oh my God.
People are saying
is it good?
Oh, we have to.
Well, I know what I'm doing after this. Hello, Timothy Springs.
Oh my God, hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much.
Hello.
It's so good, everyone.
With us.
It's been amazing.
Hopefully we weren't too boring. Thank you, Ivy.
Better not. I love you guys, and thank you so much. And we're
Lots of love. Hope everyone's staying safe out there.